Welcome to the BankFirst Ranger Hour. Super Talk Mississippi 93.7 Spotlight on Northwest Community College. And you can listen to our live stream at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the BankFirst Ranger Hour. Now, here's your host, Gary Darby.
Hello, friends, and welcome into another edition of the program. It is Tuesday, May 23rd in our year of 2024. We're doing a BankFirst Ranger Hour today. I've got your weather forecast we must get into and discuss here first. And then our show will center around a student that we have talked to a couple of times already on the program. McGhela Patton's going to be with us. Recently graduated from NWCC. We'll get some info again from her about being a student, what it was like, why Northwest, all that kind of stuff. What's next for her. And then after the break, the second half of the program, we'll bring in Dr. Andrew Dale himself. We'll talk about the value of community college. It is the Northwest Community College Ranger Hour and our good buddies at BankFirst making it go around. And when we finally get to the very end of the program, after we get the two good guests and the info out of McGhela and then Dr. Andrew Dale, I'll kind of update you on our high school baseball playoffs. We have our a couple of teams still going within this listening area and the Northwest Community College District as well. McGhela Patton's going to be on with us. We'll catch up with her for another time, last time on the Ranger Hour, possibly. I don't know. We'll find out again a little bit about her, and Dr. Andrew Dale's going to join us as well before the show is over. We'll get you those looks into the high school baseball world before we move on off into our day, which is Thursday. BankFirst Ranger Hour. Here we go.
This hour is everything Northwest. Your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College and powered by BankFirst. Thanks for joining us on the BankFirst Ranger Hour. Join the conversation now by texting 662-426-1093.
Coming up at the second half of the program, as we said, Dr. Andrew Dale will be with us. We'll talk about the value of community college with him. You can keep up with this program, North Mississippi Spotlight, and as we make it today, the BankFirst Ranger Hour on Facebook. You can go there. On Twitter, X, if that's what you call it now, it's at GDARB65 to keep up with me about whatever show, and that could be any and everything each and every day. Right now, though, McGhela Patton's going to be on with us. She's on the phone line now. How are you?
I'm doing good.
We were talking through the break. You have now become the all-time leader in the clubhouse with student guest appearances on the BankFirst Ranger Hour. Put that on your resume wherever you go, and I'm sure it will take you lots of big places. We were trying to count. It's 3 at a minimum, 4 probably, maybe even 5. I mean, you started doing this as a freshman. They've turned to you and said, when we need the student perspective, let's go to McGhela Patton. So what does that, let's just think about that a little bit. The school has trusted you multiple times now to talk about Northwest Community College. So that must mean it's been a good experience for you, and what does it mean to kind of be a spokesperson for the college?
I'm very honored to be in this position to speak on the college. I've been given a wide range of different opportunities here. So I love talking anything Northwest, anything Ranger Ready. I just love it.
Remind the people, because we've had these discussions with you before, you are a local product. Where did you grow up? Where did you come from? And then tell us, if you will, the process of getting to Northwest and why Northwest.
I'm from Cortland, Mississippi, and I graduated from South Panola High School. I came to Northwest because of its affordability, its welcoming environment, its closeness to home. And when I came for a tour, I just loved everything about it. Everything like student life-wise, teachers and how they care for the students, and how all of the advisors do their best to ensure that you get the best results by coming here.
Shout out South Panola softball. We'll give them that, we'll give them that props for winning the state title in a couple of seconds here. What was best for you, the affordability, or was it class size? You mentioned, your professors and the staff that's there. Did anything stand out one above the other, or is it just the great mix of that made Northwest special?
For me, it was just a great mix of that because the teachers having office hours, if I didn't understand certain test material, I can come in whenever, and then it's great to have scholarships and the foundation scholarship that I was given, so the affordability was really well. So it was just a great mixture of all those things that made coming here at Northwest the best for me.
I would assume you've made some long-time lasting friends, and
Yes,
whether
sir.
it's not just the students that you've been involved with, but those others as well. There'll be people that you'll be keeping up with for the rest of your life.
Yes, sir.
Jenny Hurt being one of those, because I know you're still working in the office there, right? Is that still part of the plan? Is throughout this summer you're still going to be doing things and giving tours and whatnot?
Yes, sir. I'll be working here all summer, and I will be an orientation leader. So all you listeners out there coming in, freshmen, be sure you sign up to come to orientation this year.
What's some of the things you tell the prospective students, or, you know, a person like me that has had one go through college and will have others? What if a parent has questions for you? What kind of things do you kind of talk to them about or lead them through on some of these tours?
On my tour, we just go through the whole campus. I will point out different buildings which each classes will have. I will tell them basically the rundown of how your classes will go. I will tell them about Trio, Math Lab, our free tutoring services, and if they're interested in either, say, business or healthcare profession, I just lead which way that their profession is going to be in.
What was your major at NWCC?
Pre-physical therapy.
All right, and so obviously we have a game plan there. What is next for you?
Next is Hotty Toddy, going to Ole Miss in the fall.
And continue in physical therapy, right? Or what's our thought? You're going to come to Ole Miss, and then obviously take some more classes. But what's in your mind as the ultimate goal?
When I go to Ole Miss, I'll be majoring in exercise science, and just to continue to prepare myself in going to PT school after I obtain my bachelor's degree.
Got you. And we assume then that Northwest did its best at preparing you for what's next. Do you agree that everything that you went through in the classroom, out of the classroom, has got you ready for whatever's next?
Yes, sir. I've been very prepared. I've been all the test takings, all of the different just experience in general. I just, like Dr. Horn, Mr. Horn, my A&P teacher, he's helped me so much and expanded my knowledge on anatomy and physiology. So going into exercise science, I'll be able to have that knowledge and be better prepared for the classes I'll be taking at a four-year institution.
One day you'll have some free time and you'll be able to be a normal person and you won't be going through all this, right? I mean, you've gone through a couple of semesters there at Northwest. You've done what you've done as well as working at the same time, and now that will continue. There are tours, I assume, and summer schools and things of that nature. When's the next time you'll be taking someone around the campus? Do you know?
I'll actually be taking a tour today at 10 a.m.
Excellent. All right, so we've got that to get prepared for and go, and hopefully you guys can stay dry because there is a little weather happening and coming up. So have the umbrellas or raincoats handy and take care of the people that come there. I hope this isn't the final time that we get to talk, and maybe we can continue to add on to that resume building of being on the radio with, haha. Anyway, I hope we get to see you and talk to you again somewhere along the way. It has been a pleasure, the 4 or 5 times that you've been there for us in this 9 to 10 a.m. hour to talk about Northwest Community College. Congratulations on successful times there in Senatobia and whatever's next.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you. That is our friend McGhela Patton. Grew up in Panola County. Cortland, she says. South Panola grad, off to Northwest. She has done all kinds of things. PT school eventually for her. And the next stop will be at Ole Miss. But still giving tours and still doing things. And obviously, some of the things we're going to get into with Dr. Dale after the commercial break are the things that attracted her and shows the value of community college and of the community college that we talk about every Thursday. We had Dr. Heindel in on the program, the leader of all of that is going on, and we talked the different locations and the different things that there are to offer with Northwest Community College and North Mississippi, from the Coding Academy in Water Valley to the Oxford Yellowbush Center, which is in Oxford, and the different things, and expanding the nursing program, to the concourse, which is in Batesville, and all that is going on there with its respective, training and things from truck driving and diesel mechanics to the others that are going to be going on. I know aerospace is starting to get going, and you have the main campus in Senatobia and the DeSoto Center, which is expanding as well, and off into Marshall County, and the different things that they do and the programs. It's there for you in all varieties, moms, dads, and if you've got that prospective student in years to come, be thinking about Northwest Community College, and maybe there are those of you out there that are, you're just looking for a change, ready to move into a different world as far as employment is concerned, or maybe you didn't finish that degree. Maybe you want to go get that associate's and whatever it might be, or your CTE, it's out there. Whatever that you want, there are plenty of opportunities at Northwest Community College. McGhela Patton. I think it has at least been 4, because I went back and I looked, and some of the earliest was in 2022. So she's been with us since almost stepping on campus and has gone several times and talking about the things that are going on. And we want to thank her one more time for being a part of our program today. 9:25 in your AM. We kind of bridged the gap between Gallo and Girard with something going on in North Mississippi today. It is Northwest Mississippi Community College. Dr. Andrew Dale joins us on the other side.
Thanks for listening to the BankFirst Ranger Hour, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College on SuperTalk Mississippi 93.7 and streaming live at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the BankFirst Ranger Hour.
9:30 is the time, as we thank you for being with us. However it is, if you're listening on the app, you're doing all kinds of things, it will be in podcast form anywhere you get the podcast. That is, if I email it on time to the man who's on the phone with me now. How you doing, Dr. Andrew Dale?
I'm doing great, Gary. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. The title is Associate Vice President of Community Relations at Northwest Community College. How many hats does that mean, and what all do you do yourself on that Northwest campus?
I have the lead for marketing, public relations, government relations on campus. I do special projects and just whatever needs to be done sometimes. I try to wear one hat at a time. Sometimes it doesn't work.
I joke with McGhela that she is a Hall of Fame guest on this program. I mean, she's done a tremendous job from her freshman year to this last interview today of being a spokesperson of Northwest. Can you, if you don't mind, if you just want to talk about her individually, that's great, but talk about some of the students that you work with and that we put forward, not only on this show, but that you guys put forward for the people to see.
Yeah, I really appreciate McGhela being available today. She's actually an employee of the college now, at least for the summer, before she heads off to Ole Miss, and one of the reasons why she was on was because she was so accessible to tell her now finished story.
Yeah.
So we've been able to follow her along from the time that she got here as a freshman student, and she was really involved on campus with a bunch of different organizations and spearheading some events on campus with those organizations. Very involved, highly visible, highly motivated student. She's a really good example of what it means to be a community college student and how that can be transformative for the time you spend here and then move on. So again, in her example, she's going to Ole Miss next, and she will have had this incredible experience being on campus, getting to know a really tight-knit community. You could get lost in the sea of folks at Ole Miss if you're not ready for that kind of thing. But she will have that experience as well. So now, after stepping out of high school, maturing a little bit, getting a bunch of leadership role responsibilities, which are great resume builders, she's able to now step on Ole Miss's campus and get the 4-year university experience, and she's going to have a whole new group of friends, a whole new group of networking opportunities, which are also resume builders. So she'll be more well-rounded than maybe most four-year students who stay in the same spot for just 4 years. So she's pulling from instructor relationships from different institutions now, which is one of the reasons why if you're encouraged to go, if you're working on your doctorate or something, they want you to get it from different campuses. Well, now she's included in that pool. She's learning from different people. But I wanted to really dial in today about what the value of community college is, and she's a great example. So people, and this is the point of the year where high school students are graduating. I think DeSoto County graduates every day this week with a different high school.
Yeah, I've seen the posts from Corey Hustleton, superintendent there, of the different ones that he's had to be at, and you're right. I think it is every day this week.
Yeah, he clears his calendar, and I'm pretty sure he just wears a different color tie every day, which is real fun. But so there are likely individuals who don't know what the next step is. They don't know where to go, how much it costs, and maybe they do know how much it costs, and they're looking at it going, I'm not sure my family can swallow this pill. And I want to tell these individuals that there's a solution. So I just got back from Mississippi State interviewing a bunch of Northwest students who are graduating this semester. And in doing so, we haven't published this yet, but some of these students in their exit interview, if you will, from Mississippi State are like, this is fabulous. I'm debt-free.
Wow.
I'm super jealous personally of that because I'm still paying on some college loans, and I've been an employee of the state for quite some time. And so I did not have that opportunity afforded to me. And it's not my higher degrees that I'm paying on. It's the first one really. So she, the student that I interviewed, was able to come to Northwest, and like McGhela, participated in a lot of things, and then transferred to four-year school, and got some amazing scholarships. In doing so, full tuition was covered, and I think they only had to work on a housing requirement. So, and in some cases, room and board can be covered depending on, and I've got another student example we'll talk about in a minute, but they are leaving the university not weighted with a $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 student loan balance. They're walking out of the door with no debt, stepping into their future for a new career, and they can spend all of their equity and capital helping them build a better future. With maybe they're starting a family, or they're moving to build and own a home, or that they need a car now. And these things seem to be like insurmountable mountains to climb for a freshman student who may be walking into the community college the first semester. How do you pay for those last 2 years of college if you're coming to the community college? And the answer is you go to class and you read your textbook. Because if you make A's and B's, and this is something that not many people talk about, or not enough people talk about, I should say it that way, is that there is a organization, it's an international organization based in Mississippi. It's called Phi Theta Kappa. And it's not a sorority or any of those kinds of things, fraternity. It is a 2-year honor society, Phi Theta Kappa. And if you make A's and B's, if you have a 3.5 GPA, you can be invited to be a part of this organization. And there are 15 community colleges in Mississippi. More than half of the undergraduate students in Mississippi attend the community college. But even at graduation, I'm watching people walk across the stage, receiving honors, summa cum laude, and then they don't say that next thing that I want to hear that says Phi Theta Kappa. Because I know if that person's going to the university, that they just left money on the table. And I think you get invited to be a part of Phi Theta Kappa. It's an honor society, and there's a joining fee like $20 or $60 or something like that. Well, that $60, this is an incredible investment. That $60 can turn into $10,000 or $20,000 before you turn around, because there are universities in Mississippi which will give full tuition scholarships for students who are Phi Theta Kappa members. So that's the rub. You go to community college, you study, you go to class, and you make good grades. And you become a member of Phi Theta Kappa, and then your tuition is paid for through that Phi Theta Kappa scholarship.
How soon can you get into Phi Theta Kappa?
You can do it. I think so it's after one semester. Basically, I think you have to have at least 15 hours under your belt. So we actually had some dual enrollment high school students last semester walk across the stage as members of Phi Theta Kappa because they see it. So they, like, for instance, I know of an individual who has taken enough hours at Northwest to graduate high school early. He did so. He attended Northwest in person for one semester this last semester, and he graduated this last semester. And now he's on his way to Ole Miss. And his older brother, who got here in August, will be here for another year because he didn't do the dual enrollment stuff. The younger brother did, it's a very interesting dynamic. So I just got a couple things pulled up on my computer, and so full tuition at Northwest for classes alone is $1,700 a semester. And you compare that to, I'm not using names, I'm just picking on a university in Mississippi, and it's $9,000 a semester. So $9,000 a semester versus $1,700 a semester. You could buy a car every semester, or you could make one house payment, I guess, and that covers the one semester. And I guess that's sort of like a mortgage, but there is cost, but it's significantly different. And then you add the housing situation on there. So if there's a student or a parent, they're wondering, how am I going to be able to afford this? Well, the cost differences are so great now at this point, and everybody's worried about inflation, and everybody's margin is kind of evaporating on their monthly paycheck. This is totally the best way to attend school. And then you can move on to the university, and it's paid for because you, one, went to class, two, made the grades, you studied, I read the textbook, and it's going to be paid for. My first job was a high school band director. So that's kind of a unique pathway to where I am now. But one of the best things that I felt like I did on a daily basis early in my career was prepare students to go to college. And I shoveled them to the local community college because I knew, without a doubt, that every person in my classroom was going to be eligible for a scholarship. That was not the case for the entire basketball team or the entire football team. Every person that was learning a skill set on an instrument in my classroom was going to be able to walk into the community college and get a participation scholarship, an activity scholarship, because they were going to be an active member of their recruiting organization, which was band or choir or whatever they were doing. And it paid a significant portion of their tuition. If you do that at a university, it's great. I'm not knocking it. I've actually personally also been a member of some of those organizations at universities in Mississippi, but they don't pay a significant portion of the tuition. They pay you some money. You have to be a major in some cases. There's a bunch of rules to follow. But so here, at Northwest, if you're in these organizations, we're paying full tuition scholarships to be in the band. So there's another rub. And the local students who are in those things, this is not the same high school band. We have 4 home games this year, and we don't travel a whole lot. We go a couple away games. So I know that there are some high school bands locally that they're wearing it out every Friday night, and it's a huge commitment. Here, you take what you know already, and you participate, not at that same level, and it's more fun. Maybe you should say that word, because it's all the good things about being involved in an organization and not the rigor.
Yeah, I had too much fun.
Yeah,
so you do have, you're right. It is fun. It's great being a part of organizations like that, and the thing that also I look at is the value that you just were talking about financially, and you put it into the classroom size and attention that you get, whether it is with that band director or whether it is in whatever major you might be in. makes that an even greater value. You're not getting lost in a class of 100. You're in a smaller group with a lot of attention.
We don't have any of those, and we don't have any graduate assistants. So I actually in high school worked for a person down the street from me in South Mississippi, and she was from a foreign country, and I was able to, as I pulled weeds in her yard as a student, doing just helping her, and I had to listen to her and learn how she talked, and so I understood. I had a graduate class that the graduate assistant was in Mandarin, and I understood because I learned through this dialect, and it was rough, broken English. I looked around at the end of that class, and more than half of them were gone at the end of the semester. We don't have classes that are 200 strong, and it's those weed-out classes that you get at the beginning of your freshman year. 30 is really pushing it for a lot of our class sizes. I'm going to imagine if it's going to be higher than that, it's probably going to be a nursing class, and that's going to be, your third-year class here at Northwest, or because we're, the nursing, that's a little bit different, and you don't meet every day because you're doing clinicals. But here, just going back to that band kind of suggestion, I'm looking at a student's balance from this last semester. I don't know who the student is, but I can see their tuition, which was $1,700 for the semester. They stayed on campus, which was another $975. There's a few fees here, but they, let's see, I'm not looking at those are all the charges. I don't see any, the balance, but I can see that this student got a refund. They got a $1,000 refund because they participated on campus. They got scholarships because of their GPA. They made money going to college.
Yeah, several of the students that you guys have given me for guests have talked about the fact they actually made money to go to Northwest, which is, I don't know if I should be jealous or angry that I didn't take advantage of things a little bit better than I did, Yeah.
So there's the Mississippi Tuition Assistance Grant that most Mississippians are eligible for. There's the larger conversation about the value of higher education, and is it worth it? Because of the balance of your student loans hanging out there. And on a national level, it really is a crisis. But here locally in Mississippi, this is the best thing that we have going for our local communities. 97% of the students attending Northwest are Mississippians. And what we know is that when students in Mississippi generally take classes at the community college, they stay here. They're not going to Atlanta or Nashville or Houston or California. They stay in Mississippi, and they become valued members of our society, which is what we want in the long run, because they're more connected locally. When you go to one of these large universities, your friend base becomes those individuals who are traveling out of state to come here. Then you have those connections and you go somewhere else. That doesn't happen at a community college because everybody you meet here is largely from here. So there's a transformative thing that happens there. You make money while you're attending college here. You go to the university and you finish debt-free for your future. So when you marry, you're not looking at a life of servitude to pay off your student loans. You can get into all the things that are very helpful in for opportunities that I wasn't afforded, buying a brand new vehicle or buying a brand new house or whatever it may be when you move and get that first job, or maybe even wiser. There are students, I spoke to a student who she's currently at Ole Miss DeSoto, and she already has her job lined up for this August, and she got a sign-in bonus, and still even plans to stay with mom for one full year while she has this job. And because she is debt-free, she'll have this little nest egg built up to do what she wants to do with the first year's salary of her job. Again, super jealous.
Yeah.
So cool that our students are being able to make wise financial decisions for their future. That is the benefit and the value of a community college. And I hope some folks listening today are thinking about maybe this was mom or dad who's at work and their child just graduated, or they have one 10th or 9th grade, and they're thinking about, okay, what's it going to look like in the future? Give us a hard look at the community colleges in Mississippi, specifically Northwest. We don't want you to come here, but the value that you get out of attending the local institution here that serves our 11 county districts in North Mississippi is far greater than any deal that you could probably get. These students are making money when they come here, and they're getting a scholarship at the university that they could not have gotten when they walked out of the door of the high school. So that is the value. You know, you can walk right into your bachelor's degree, or even get money to spend and pay for your master's degree through the process, because you, one, went to class, two, read your textbook, and you participated. So we can't say enough nice things about the students that are here. Again, McGhela being on today and her whole story, tracking through the things that she was able to do here with us and participate in, and now moving to Ole Miss to do some of the same work there, but also no debt. Things are paid for.
That's amazing. Thanks for your message this morning. I got to take a pause and then finish this thing up, and I'll email it to you double as soon as possible, okay?
Awesome.
Thank you.
We'll get it up on the podcast as soon as we can today.
Sounds good. Thank you, Dr. Dale.
Thank you.
A BankFirst Ranger Hour in the books. Thanks, McGhela Patton. Thanks, Dr. Andrew Dale. Thank you for listening. Off into middays with Gerard next. So long.